Hey everybody, this is Captain Kyle. I'm here at Katsucon with Dino Andrade. I said that right?
Oh, yes, that's just fine. Andrade's fine.
So give us the Mexican pronunciation.
Andrade.
All right, for our Mexican viewers, that is how you really say the name.
That's right. Which you probably already know, so.
So you are a very talented and accomplished voice actor.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So World of Warcraft and just so many different video game and animation projects.
I'm Mimiron, Mechatork, Professor Putricide, the Death Knight Gnomes, Fungalmancer Glop, the Fellspreader Imp, Jailer Xeris, on and on and on and on and on and on and on for World of Warcraft. I'm also the Mad Bomber, the Mimiron's Head, the Whirling Zapomat, again, on and on for Hearthstone. I'm also the Scarecrow for Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham Underworld. You're in my Arkham now, Batman. I've been Pop for the Rice Krispies, Snap, Cuckle Pop, Rice Krispies. Gee, I'm in Brutal Legend, Call of Duty. I do a lot. I'm Flinch on Sophia the First. I just recently did Shimmer and Shine, and no, it was Goldie and Bear. Shimmer and Shine I did last year, and as well as national campaigns for the Los Angeles Dodgers, McDonald's, Delta Airlines. I do a lot. I stay very busy.
And that Pop voice just made me hungry.
Yeah, me too. Me too. The funny thing was, when I got the voice of Pop, I was actually reading for, in the commercial, this guy who says, hey Snap, hey Crackle, hey Pop. And they heard that and thought, oh, he'd be a good Pop. So, but since I didn't actually read for Pop, I didn't know what was going on when they called and said, hey, you booked Pop. And I asked my agent, Pop who? And the agent said, we were hoping you knew. I didn't know it was an old man. I did not find out till I actually got to the session. And then afterwards, when I realized what I was doing, I asked them, how did I get this part? I didn't and they told me that, well, ages ago you read for this other thing, and we thought you'd be great. And so I was absolutely clueless till I walked into the studio.
So you're thinking you're going to be Pop. You're going to be like, hey, Sonny, how are you doing?
Thinking I'm going to be this old guy. I'm going to be Pop. Someone who uses phrases like, back in '05, I just, that kind of thing. I had no idea. No clue. None at all. Agent didn't know either. It was just the most bizarre thing. And it turned out to be an enormous, enormous campaign for me. And it was thrilling. It was awesome.
Very cool. It's interesting how you can read for one thing and just be chosen for something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So which character, have you found most challenging to voice?
Most challenging, I would say, was probably the beggar in Dishonored 2. Because it was a very dramatic, very, very sad, very tragic, damaged character. And I really had to dig deep. The beggar sounded just kind of like this. It was a very, very terrible human being. And by terrible, I don't mean he was awful. I mean, his life was just terrible. Everything went wrong. Everything was taken away from him. He was this guy who had been, his wife had died. He'd been, hit in the head with a rock. He'd lost his artistic ability and winds up this beggar on the street. It was just a very tragic, dramatic character. And I really had to dig deep to get into that. And so, yeah, that was a challenge. That was a real challenge. And I was thankfully in the expert hands of director Wes Gleason, who guided me through that. And, I was very proud of, because that was hard work. It was hard work.
But rewarding in the end.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. A lot of character work, especially wackier characters and so on, it has always been my forte. You get into the really, really heavy drama character work. Character work is my specialty. Yeah, this voice here you're hearing, I never get hired for that. I'm not that guy who, here at Humana Health, that's not me, all of his character. But the wacky comedy characters, things that make you laugh, that's always been my forte. Getting into the real heavy stuff, that's the challenge. That's the scary stuff, So.
I look forward to being scared even more in the future from you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So to switch gears, I understand this is your first Katsucon?
My first Katsucon, yes. Greg Hauser, who is a wonderful voice actor who teaches a lot of workshops here, has been asking Katsucon to bring me out here for like 3 years. And they finally said yes. So here I am, and I've had a wonderful, wonderful time. I've been teaching workshops, I've been hosting events, and just having a ball. Just having a ball. I hope they bring me back.
That's great. And Katsucon is well known for its cosplay. I don't know if you noticed, there's a few people in cosplay. What do you think of these cosplayers?
I think they're amazing. I think they're really, really amazing. I've seen some incredibly impressive stuff. And it's also nice that I've seen a wide array of things, not just anime. I've seen magnificent Black Panthers. I saw a giant cup of noodle soup, which was amazing. There was a gal here who was dressed as Gwen from Galaxy Quest. I've seen terrific stuff. One of the most amazing Xenas I've ever seen is walking around here.
That's cheating. You know her personally.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's my dear friend Jessica. I just had to give out a shout. But yeah, she's stunning as Xena.
If you were going to cosplay, who would you cosplay? Or have you cosplayed before?
Cosplay is not something I typically do. I've been asked many times if I would cosplay as my, Scarecrow. And I thought about that, but I just don't fancy being under this burlap mask.
It can get warm.
That can get a little warm and sweaty, yeah. The one, my wife tells me all the time that she would love to see me cosplay as Castiel from Supernatural. Personally, I don't know if anyone would get it, but I would absolutely love to wander around as Peter Falk's Columbo, who is just one of those character performances that I always loved and cherished. One of those things that made me want to become a character actor was Peter Falk and his work. I watched Columbo from the very beginning, the first movies they made in the late 1960s, all the way to the final films in the 1990s. So to watch that character evolution was just an education and inspiration. One of those things that made me want to become a character actor.
Well, that is awesome. And if you get to run around and do that, well, I would say it would be as you wish.
Yeah, and then walking around in that raincoat and have the cigar and so on, and people look at me and a lot of people who are Supernatural fans probably look at me and saying, "Is that supposed to be old Castiel?" I don't get.
So you could cosplay two at once. It could be a crossover.
Yes, I could. For the younger fans, I'll say yes, I'm old Castiel. The older fans will go, "Oh my God, it's Columbo." Yeah, so.
What do you have going on? Any projects you're working on now that you can share with us?
There's two projects that I'm currently starring in called NDA. Yeah.
I'm familiar with that project. I've been in one myself.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm doing a number of things right now that I legally can't talk about. So, one TV series and 2 movies, and I can't talk about any of them. As I mentioned, 3. You know that old saying about there's 3 kinds of people in this world, those who can do math and those who can't? Yeah, so those 3 days of con and running around and doing all of the panels and everything, I am a bit fried right now.
Totally understand. When you can talk about these things, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, they can find me on Facebook. They can find me on Twitter. They can find me on Instagram. Yeah, I'm easy to locate.
Links below in the description.
There you go.
And finally, we have 3 very, very invasive questions. Are you ready?
Sure. Boxers.
That wasn't going to be one of them, but thank you for letting us know. What is your favorite beverage?
My favorite beverage. I would probably have to say that's Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, good choice. Would you want to be a pepper too?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I consider myself a pepper. Nice and spicy. Yes. Spice
is good. Now, your next question is, what hobby do you have that people might be surprised to find out you have?
Hobby that I have? There's a couple that I'm rather passionate about. One is I love editing video and audio. It's a hobby. I don't want to do it professionally. I actually did it professionally for a very short while, and doing it professionally took all the joy out of it. But I love cobbling things together. My son sat on my lap for 3 months as we re-edited the Star Wars prequels into one movie, and we did that just for fun. You know, editing is just a fun thing. Then the other thing that I love is I love collecting film scores. I have a collection that's some 80 gigs deep, goes all the way back to like the early work of Franz Waxman, all the way to the latest stuff by Michael Giacchino. I'm very, very passionate about film scores.
Very cool, and very cinematically themed everything there. So.
Yeah.
You're a showman.
I'm addicted to this. If I found out tomorrow that I could no longer act, I have no idea what I would do with myself. If I couldn't be in the entertainment industry, I just do not know what I would do with myself. I've been in it most of my life. It all started when I was very, very little, and I got to start watching the original Universal horror films, Frankenstein, especially Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, Invisible Man, and they all just blew my mind and said, whatever it is the people did who made these, that's what I want to do. I want to be part of that. I mean, Karloff's performance in Bride of Frankenstein was one of those seminal things that just made me want to be an actor.
That is very awesome.
And of course, I'm a huge Star Trek fan.
I don't understand. What is this Star Trek of what you speak?
It's this thing all the kids are into. It's just this thing, you know. There's a ship, you know, a guy with pointed ears. It's fun.
So our final question. If you could have any superpower, what superpower would you like?
Flight.
Flight. Any particular reason?
Because I fly in my dreams. I don't know why. I've heard people say, yes, there's psychological reasons for that. But yeah, I fly in my dreams.
Dino, thank you so much. Anything you want to say to your fans before we go?
Yes. One of the biggest questions I'm always asked all the time as a voice actor, how do I get into voice acting? What do I do? Number one, go get acting lessons. That's the number one thing people completely skip. They think of the easy part, the technical part, which is I read from a piece of paper. And people think, oh, I can do that. And then they go and hang up a sign that says voice actor and then wonder why they're not working. We're actors. So do that. Number one, if I can impress upon any of you that dream of doing what I do for a living. I play pretend for a living. I don't do voices. I create characters. The essence of character is personality. And to realistically create a personality means I have to be a trained actor. So please, go get acting lessons. Take improv classes. Do that first. Then pursue voiceover.
In fact, they say voice acting can even be more difficult than acting because you have to convey everything with your voice. It's much more difficult. Right.
On-camera acting, there's so many things you can do with just a look. That's not going to do you any good when you're just standing in front of a mic. So yeah, voiceover acting requires conveying everything through voice and having a very vivid imagination, because you don't have anything on the set to inform you. You don't have sets. You don't carry props. You're not in costume. You're not, an X-Wing pilot knows they're not in a real fighter craft, but they're still wearing the suit. They still have a helmet. They're still in a cockpit. They still got blinky lights and buttons. All those things that can help you play pretend. In voiceover, you have none of that.
And sometimes not even other actors to play off of.
That's absolutely right. So you have to have a very vivid imagination and be a skilled actor.
Awesome. Well, thanks again so much.
My pleasure.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in. And as always, have fun and cosplay on. And live for long and prosper. Cosplay on. It all works, right?
That's right.
See you next time. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and share, and we love to read your comments. Don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the con floor.